I want to tell you about my junk food addiction. And why do I have the junk food addiction? Is it simply a lack of discipline or is it something else? If you look at different YouTube videos like this, what you notice is a bunch of skinny people who may or may not have had an issue with it before. And the truth is, I hope this video doesn't blow up in 2026. I want it to go popular in 2027 after I've lost the weight. But here we are, they're going to make a video about it now. So it all started when I was a kid. Being in daycare and stuff, they'd have snacks and stuff. And unfortunately, my taste buds did not allow me just to enjoy everything. Oftentimes I made a goofy face when like Cheetos was offered and stuff like that, or I'd just be like, no, thank you. And that was sucked. That sucked. The problem is then the kids are like, ha 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 ha, and stuff like that, and I felt very subconscious. That's a normal thing kids do, but I do remember it, and unfortunately, that really did not help me a lot. So what ended up happening was I'd go out to eat a lot and get McDonald's and stuff, and there I wouldn't be made fun of. So I very much enjoyed those. So it was the meals that I did enjoy that was okay, but unfortunately most of them were not healthy meals. Not that Cheetos was particularly healthy, but a lot of them were not healthy meals. And I did start eating out food I like, got comfortable. Also didn't help when my family was basically, they didn't fight back, let's just say. So like my mom would ask the questions, so to the rest of us, my dad would be, whatever. And my sister, well, she wouldn't care most of the time. For me, I wanted El Chicos or McDonald's or something, something non-healthy, I should say. And that was kind of it from a childhood predicament. Then, as a teenager, particularly an older teenager, I was in band and stuff, and we'd go out to eat and various things. And unfortunately, there were times when, we'd be called to eat food I didn't much care for. But one time, when we did go to a restaurant, it was a Mexican restaurant, and they had a burger there. So I got a burger. And when I was like, you want a burger in a Mexican restaurant? I was like, yes, I do. But then I felt so subconscious, I completely forgot how to open up a bottle of ketchup. Meaning there was a glass bottle. The one where you had to take a knife in and scoop it out to get it pouring. Anyway, and I felt so subconscious about that. And so, ultimately I was happy, but it was just different events like that. Different events that made me not fit in very well. That was a real issue. And then I became 18 and I found a girl I liked. Now, ultimately, I did not develop healthy habits then either. I did end up managing to go from this guy to this guy that you see before you. What happened was because I didn't develop healthy habits. But in order to be the first guy, what ended up happening was basically I ended up not eating a lot. Or I'd eat a lot of Raisin Bran and stuff like that would keep me regular. And I lost about 50 pounds that way. But I had no developed eating habits that were healthy. So after the sixth time when she said no, she didn't want to go steady, I basically went back to the old habits. And one thing that ended up happening at that particular instance was, I had friends that would go out to eat at McDonald's a lot. Because we had a McDonald's in the store where I worked. Newsflash, it's not very hard to figure out. But anyway, and so I would go out there and I'd go meet them and stuff, and we'd have a good old time. Huddled around the junk food, but, having a good time. And that didn't help with the eating habits. So then I moved in my 20s. Same thing basically happened. I ended up going to Whataburger a lot, which was not in where I was working, but I'd go out and meet people, got Chick-fil-A, meet people, all these unhealthy places. Met a girl there at Jack in the Box, and that was all fun. So basically, I never looked in the mirror either. So I never saw myself getting bigger. All I saw was having a good time with my friends. And that's all I knew. And ended up basically, that didn't work out. Moved back with my parents at the age of 23. And continued on, right? we continued the cycle, the life script. Life script: go out to eat, go meet a cashier or somebody else like that, and have a good conversation. And and it was fun. It was fun for years. Then I hit 30, and I was 300 pounds at that point. So I decided I was going to be smart. I was going to start doing a marathon. I've talked about this in other videos. And I tried to outrun the bad diet, and it didn't work, right? You can't outrun a bad diet. I tried to do martial arts, everything else like that. I was doing all this as a 300-pound guy, and whatever. But basically the point is there was no real healthy habits developed. So what ended up happening is when I was in my 30s, early in my 20s, when I hit the 300 pounds, I basically did not register it as an issue. First off, like I said before, I didn't own a mirror. But also, if you ever watch wrestling, they're like, 300-pound wrestler going to the ring. It's like, okay, cool, I'm as big as those guys. I'm not the 600-pound guy, but I am a 300-pound guy. I'm not as in shape as those guys were, but it didn't register as an issue. It wasn't going to register as an issue. Socially, I had solved some of my issues, but diet-wise, it did not. So it wasn't so much lack of discipline, because I was going pretty much all the time. It was a social thing. And the occasional times I was invited out, I would eat a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit for the social state. But ultimately, it was a social issue. One of the issues that people have had is telling me, well, I gave up soda to lose weight, or I gave up carbs, or whatever. And that's nice. Here's a video demonstrating what that's like in my brain. Away soda. Take away burger cholesterol. And we just roll up these fries. That is what we're left with. You see, it's not very helpful, is it? So what happens in my 40s, right? Well, last year I made about 30 pounds down by eating smaller portions. That was the healthy choice I made last year. Looks like this year I'm going to continue, hopefully getting rid of the soda. I'm hopefully going to, can't wish away the fat, right? This is going to be small changes. So I'm going to hopefully do in the next 50, not days, but next 50 weeks or whatever, have one meal at least a week of something I don't eat. Make the goofy faces, have fun with it, but hopefully find some other stuff that I like that would be considered at least a little healthier. But I'm going to say to eat a little bit better. That is kind of my goal. It's easier said than done, but it's okay. The reason I'm talking about this is kind of what it means to be a man. It's tackling your problems head on. And that's what I hope to be able to demonstrate over the course of 2026, is me trying to tackle this particular problem, amongst others, head on in my life. Becoming that man that I wish to become, and changing the life script. Let me eat my burger in peace.